is in the building.
Good evening, everyone. I want to say welcome to our live stream Q&A session presented by Be Loud Movement. Also brought to you by the Plum Bar. I'm super excited. My name is Arvin McGowan. For those of you that don't know, I'll be your host for this evening. We have an exciting presentation for you all this evening, and you have an opportunity to speak with a couple of the candidates in the upcoming mayoral election going on right here in Adamsville, taking place on August 25th. So once again, I want to say welcome to everyone. I also want to tell you that if you have not registered, okay, I want you to take the opportunity to go to our Be Loud Movement page. That is on Facebook. That is Be Loud Movement on Facebook. And there you'll find important links that will allow you to register to vote. Also, some voter information links that you can go to and put your information in. If you need to know what district you live in, what ward you live in, or where you need to go and cast your vote. You will find that information on our Be Loud movement page. I'm super excited to have everyone here with us. And like I said, make sure you check out our page. Now, if you have not already registered to vote, it's a little bit too late to chime in and vote for the upcoming municipal election on August 25th. However, you still have an opportunity to register to vote for the upcoming election on November the 3rd. November 3rd, that's our general election. That's nationwide. So you must be registered to vote 15 days in advance. Okay, keep that in mind, 15 days in advance. So like I said before, make sure that you go check out our page, Be Loud Movement on Facebook. Okay. Also, there's another link on there to fill out the 2020 census. That is also very important. Okay. A lot of information packed into that page. So if you have any trouble finding that page, my name is Arvin McGowan. I'm Arvin A.R. McGowan on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook also, and I can assist you with that. If you need help registering to vote, okay, make sure that you reach out to us for that information also, and we can assist you. All right, so this evening, I'm super excited. Like I said before, we have an opportunity to speak with a few of the candidates in the upcoming election. Now, we wish that we could have brought on all of the candidates, okay? Unfortunately, that did not happen. So today we have with us just two of them, okay? Just two of them. And we're going to ask some questions. If you have anything that you want to pose to them, you can put that on screen and we'll see if we can't get you up, okay? So make sure that you share this also. If you have, Facebook page, you can share it on your page. You can start a watch party. We want everyone to be involved there, okay? So like I said, I'm super excited. And today, like I said, we have two candidates that we want to speak with, one of them being the incumbent, okay? This is presented by Be Loud, and once again, brought to you by Plum Bar. So, just to start the evening off, ladies and gentlemen, I've compiled a few questions for these candidates. Some of them were submitted by the public, and other questions that will touch on topics and issues that are affecting us in each and everyday life, right here in the city of Adamsville, across the state, everywhere, okay? So at this time, I'm going to bring up our first participant. He is a 2020 mayoral candidate right here in Adamsville. Some of you may know him, and we're just glad to have him on screen here with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome right now 2020 mayoral candidate, Mr. Chris James. That is Christopher James.
Hello,
Mr.
hello.
James. How you doing today, sir?
Hello, how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, doing wonderful. We thank you for taking time out of your schedule today to speak with us, and we hope that you'll have an opportunity to appeal to the voters and get some good information out there. So just to
Okay.
start off, though, I know who you are, and I just want you to just kind of give us a rundown and give us, a brief summary of who Chris James is. Tell us about, your background information, and tell us, just anything you want to give us right now. Just let us know who you are, Mr. James.
Okay. Hi, my name is Christopher James. I'm a native of Adamsville. I moved to Adamsville when I was 12 years old. I served 25 years in the military. I served in the community active. I was the park president of football for 4 years. I have a wife, been married 20 years, 6 children, and proud to be
Awesome.
a native of Adamsville.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I could say the same, that I'm glad to be a native of Adamsville. It's a great city to live in. So just want to talk about a few things with you, and we're not going to take up too much of your time. There's just a couple of key, components to this campaign that you're running here in Adamsville that we want to touch on and give you an opportunity to let the public know a little bit about your stance on these issues. So I know that one of the key components of your campaign is revitalization, and that's something that
Yes.
I've seen you tap into. If you would, just give us a kind of enlighten us on that a little bit, and tell us, in what ways do you believe that this revitalization could be accomplished here in the city of Adamsville?
Okay, the way that I consider revitalization in the city is first of all, we have to have growth in the city. And the way that we have growth in the city is that we have to try to bring in surrounding areas that's unincorporated to bring in more population. Once we bring in more population, right, everything will go as planned. So the more population, so it bring in businesses and more things of that nature.
Okay.
And mhm.
All right. Uh, when you say unincorporated areas, are there any areas in particular that you would think that would fit the mold of what Adamsville has been, or
well,
and would that come with any extra expenses? You think maybe?
well, on that nature, revitalization, right? Most of it is can be brought in for free because we have an area over on Hillcrest Road that's part of Adamsville, but it's not incorporated into the city of Adamsville. If we incorporate that into the city of Adamsville, that brings more population and more taxes into the city. So therefore, it'll bring more revenue and everything else into the city. We just need to revitalize this community to make it grow. Right now, Adamsville have a population of 4,986 people. If we had a total of 7,000 people in the city of Adamsville, we can have us a shopping mall. We have all stores want to come in. Nowadays, if people come look at City of Adamsville, they look at the population saying there's no revenue here. So therefore they are bagging out. So the more people, the more money. Yes. So that's the thing that we're trying to work on to make happen if I be elected as mayor of this great city.
Understood. Understood. And that's a great point that you make there. Um, now, when we're talking financially in the city, we know that a few years back, I would say maybe about 12 years ago, the city was in a tough financial state, and at this point, I do know that there's about $3 million available that's sitting in a savings account here. Do you see that as something that we should just hold on to, or you think that there's have you heard anything from the citizens of what we could do to improve maybe with those funds that we have?
Well, I can't speak on that because I haven't seen recordings of the money being put in a savings account. I just say hearsay, so I can't go by hearsay. Once I get into office and we get in there and we find out all the money that's in the city, then we can go forward with that. So therefore, I cannot speak on that right now.
Got you. Okay. Okay. All right. So we know that you have a great relationship with so many different people in Adamsville, being a Adamsville native and being here, most of your life. Um, what I would say is that have you seen any difference, on, I guess, so to speak, we would call it the other sides of the track? Because we know that Chris James has like I said, has a good relationship with people that live on both sides of the track, for lack of better terms. Do you feel like there's anyone in Adamsville that may be left out, and what is to be done about that?
Well, me myself, once I'm elected, I will try my best not to leave anyone out. Meaning wise that I will go door to door and try to visit all my citizens in Adamsville, not once a year, but I try to go out every month to try to make them know what's going on in the city and see if they have any problem of their own. So if they have any problem of their own, I will give it that councilman in that district. We will hold on. We will try to fix any issues that they have at that time.
Okay. All right. Just want to touch on a few things that I know that are that are having a major effect on not just citizens here in Adamsville, but also across the state of Alabama. And I want to get your stance on it. Not long ago, there was a mandate that was placed on, not just here in the city, but also across the state. It's mandatory that you wear a face covering because of COVID-19. Now we've seen several businesses, notably the Walmart here in Adamsville and Walmarts across the nation, they're requiring that you have a face covering or of some sort before you can go into those places. And there was a lot of backlash before, and I know that Birmingham was one of the first cities in the state of Alabama to implement such a mandate, and then later on, we had that mandate come from Governor Kay Ivey statewide. So I just really want to know your stance on it. Do you think it's something that'll help? Do you think it's unfair or fair to the people? Do you feel like they're being forced to do it without, good reasoning? Just give me your stance on this whole COVID-19 situation and the face coverings.
Okay, my stance on the COVID-19 situation. First of all, the COVID-19 situation, it is real. Therefore, I practice covering my face all the time. I wear my mask constantly, no matter where I am. And I think everyone should continue to wear their mask till we get a cure for this situation. Because right now, it is real. And therefore, we should wear our masks, practice social distances, and provide by the governors and the health department rules.
Okay. And I tell you, being a city leader or being a public leader is very important to have a quick response in situations like that. Do you feel that, the administration that we're dealing with, not just here in the state of Alabama, but nationwide, do you feel like their response was a prompt response? And what would you have done different in that situation?
In the COVID-19 situation that you
Yes,
ever
sir.
referred to, in
Hmm.
the COVID-19 situation, once it hit, and once they closed down all the schools and all the public works, I would have taken charge and made sure that each citizen in my area, right, I would try to put out a rule myself that everybody wear a mask and protect yourself, social distancing. Yes, I would try to push it more than it has been pushed around here now.
Understood. Understood. And with this situation going on, I know we are, coming pretty close here to opening schools back up. We've got, some theater schools here in Adamsville. Of course, the minor high school, being the biggest of those, and then we got minor middle school and a couple of feeder elementary schools. Do you think it's too soon, or do you think our approach of actually putting students back in the classroom, do you think that can be done a little bit different? And then, if it were to come to a situation to where it made matters worse, from a mayor standpoint, how would you handle that? How would you step in there?
Okay, first of all, I would step in. I would say do virtual learning only because reason being is that and once you inside the school, you still have to practice social distance. You can't have 25 students in a class and practice social distance because if one student gathers the COVID-19, that means you got to close your whole school down once again. So I say virtual training, virtual learning right now would be the great thing to do instead of sending them back to school.
Understood. And I know that there are, a few things that me and you and I spoke with when we're talking about schools and everything. And while we're on that topic, there is a brand new school being built here in Adamsville, UW Clement Elementary. You spoke about some programs and things like that if elected, you would like to implement when it comes to those school age children. Just could you just elaborate on that a little bit and tell us what your expectations are from those programs?
Okay, from the I want to bring in an after school program, a free after school program. It's have tutoring, ACT prep, job training, and we also want to bring in a free summer youth program into the city, right? Where therefore, once kids get out of school, right, your parents can't bring them, we can go pick them up, bring them to the center, and we can teach them, we can tutor them during the evening time until the parents get home, right? It's free of charge. So therefore, if I'm elected mayor, I will try my best to bring all these free programs to the city as we're working on right now. We're trying to get those done.
I think
We're
we
trying to
lost
get
it.
those done as
We're back.
right now. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. All right. And also we spoke earlier about some things that you wanted to get seniors involved. And when I say seniors, I mean like senior citizens here in the city of Adamsville. We know that there are a lot of people, a lot of citizens who have been here their entire life. And in some kind of way, we, as time goes on, we tend to focus on that middle age group more so than the senior citizens here in Adamsville, and they're the foundation of the city. Um, for those that feel left out, what can we say that's coming in the future with Chris James as mayor of Adamsville for those seniors?
Okay, in the future, for me, like for the elderly, for the senior citizens, I want to offer a backdoor trash pickup. Therefore, where the senior citizens will have to bring their trash to the street, my city workers will go and get it in the backyard of their backyard and bring it to the front. And I want to bring in a wellness program for the city, for the seniors, that not because most senior citizens can't afford, you know, free blood stream and all this stuff. I want to bring this to the city, and maybe it will help the citizens of Adams become, better and with the health and everything else.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and I just a few more topics here. We've got a few more minutes that we want to spend with you, Mr. James. Um, I would say that, um, and I'm sure you could probably remember this. It hadn't been that long ago, maybe around early 2000s. Um, Here in the city of Adamsville, the relationship between law enforcement and the citizens, it was a bit tarnished. And there was also a moment where someone posted a billboard saying that if you've been harassed by Adamsville police, please contact the district attorney's office. I haven't seen it firsthand, but I know of people who've given accounts of situations, and we haven't seen that in a while. And going into 2020, bringing it here up to date across our nation, we've seen so many situations of social injustice, and it all just kind of erupted here in 2020, bigger than it has in previous times with the protests going around all across Birmingham. We're seeing Black Lives Matter. We're seeing a lot more of that. Um, Now I know that we have I would say a different police chief here in Adamsville than what we've had before. And since he's come into office, I haven't really heard much about that in Adamsville. But we also want to pay that some attention. So as far as local law enforcement here in Adamsville, what can be done from a mayor standpoint to make sure that we cultivate that relationship or improve that relationship and maintain it going forward between law enforcement and citizens here in Adamsville?
Okay, at this point in time, has been improved. The chief has made improvements, and I look forward to collaborating more efforts with him. But at the time, we can work. We could need to continue to work together to make Adamville the great city that it once was. Right. So we got to continue to work together as citizens and law enforcement to make this work. Without each other, it will not work. So
Agreed there. Agreed there. All right. And before we go, we want to give you an opportunity to appeal to the public, appeal to the citizens here in Adamsville. Um, and after this election's over, we know that there are going to be some areas where the citizens have to be reunited. Okay, as a whole here and come together. So if you could just give us your appeal to the voters, tell us why we should vote for Chris James in the upcoming election.
can you repeat that?
We want you to give your appeal to the public and just briefly just tell us why we should vote for Chris James in the upcoming election on August 25th.
Okay, why you should vote for Chris James in the upcoming election? Because I'm here as a citizen of Adamsville, native of Adamsville, to revitalize this city, to make the city grow. I've been here ever since I was 12 years old. I haven't seen the city grow in all these years. I want to revitalize this city. I want to bring in surrounding areas to make the population grow. Therefore, once we make the population grow, the revenue will grow and new business coming to the area. With new businesses in the area, that means that we have the revenue to do whatever we want to do in this city to make it grow, population, beautification, more city workers, because we need more city workers. Right now, we're down to 15 city workers and 15 city workers cannot operate this whole city. So therefore, I want to bring in more businesses for revenue, more citizens for revenue. And if without growth, we cannot move forward. So we have to grow to move forward. So let Chris James, as your mayor, we would do our best. We would do our best to make everything that we have in our plan come true. We would do our best with you, me, and everybody else. We need to work together to become one, not separate. We will become one city, one body. I might not be the one you want, but I'm the one you need. Closing.
Thank you, Mr. James. We appreciate you for attending our session today, and we offer up our best wishes in the upcoming election to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes, sir.
having me.
Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As we move along here, we want to take a moment. This is a very important moment, I know, to so many, to extend our condolences and send out prayers to those who have lost loved ones due to COVID-19. Also, those who have lost loved ones during this pandemic. Okay, be it because of the actual disease or any other reason. Now we know that it's a tough time to mourn right now, not being able to pay your respects as normal. Okay, we also want to pay tribute to all of those first responders, everyone on the front line, everyone working to make sure that this thing doesn't go any further, and those that are out there fighting for the lives of the citizens here in Adamsville, the state of Alabama, and the United States of America, and all around the world. Okay. So that is very, very important to us. Our heart goes out to those families. Our hearts go out to the friends and anyone who's dealing with this situation. It is a very tough time that we are dealing with right now. I will say that there are a few people that I could call out and call some names of people that that we're going to miss in the future. You know who these people are. So our hearts and our prayers go out to them. On behalf of Be Loud Movement and on behalf of Plum Bar, we want to take this moment right now to pay tribute to those families, pay tribute to those first responders, and also pay tribute to those who have lost their lives during this dangerous pandemic. And here to help us do that at the moment, we have a good friend of ours, and she's going to help us pay tribute by song. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Deidre Gaddis.
Just to live from day to day, and I don't borrow from its sunshine, for its skies may turn to gray. My future, for I know what Jesus said, and today He walks beside me, for He knows what lies ahead.
We thank you, Deidre, for such a heartwarming tribute. And once again, on behalf of the Be Loud movement, on behalf of Plum Bar, and all of our family and friends, we want to say thank you. And we extend our condolences to those families. All right. So at this moment, like I said before, it is not too late to go to the Be Loud movement and to register to vote. We have an election coming up on November 3rd. On our Be Loud movement page, you will find more information there, a link that you can click on. It's simple, pretty simple. I've been able to help a couple of people do it. And if you also want to make sure that that information is correct after you register, we suggest that you wait about 10 days. And you can go on to our My Info Alabama link that's also on our Be Live movement page, and you will be able to check on that information and make sure that you've got your polling place lined up and everything. Okay. All right. So at this moment, I just want to kind of give you guys a rundown of what's to come here in Adamsville on August 25th. Of course, we have our mayoral election in which we have 4 candidates in that upcoming election on August 25th. We've got Mr. William England, who will be running for mayor. Of course, Miss Tammy Taylor, who's going to be running for mayor. Mr. Chris James, who we just spoke with there. And you'll get an opportunity to hear from the incumbent, Adamsville Mayor Pam Palmer, here shortly. She's also in that race on August 25th. If you live in District 1, that will be Mr. Eric Alexander. And he'll be up against the incumbent, Mr. Anthony Brooklier. Mr. Brooklier has been in office for quite some time now, so he is a veteran here when it comes to government in Adamsville. If you live in District 2, make sure that you familiarize yourself with Pastor Nathaniel Bird. Nathaniel Bird, he's no stranger here at Adamsville. You'll get an opportunity to meet him. And a longtime city worker here, Miss Annette Davis, will be going up against Mr. Nathaniel Bird. No incumbent there in District 2, okay? And as far as District 3, we have Mr. Ricky Pierce. He will be running for District 3 City Council here in Adamsville. We've got Johnny Gober. A lot of you are familiar with him, okay? And also Glenn Minyard, who's the incumbent in District 3 Adamsville City Council, okay? District 4 was uncontested, but for District 5, if you live in District 5, you need to familiarize yourself with Mr. Johannes Owens. Now, Mr. Owens ran for the position and the seat of mayor a few years back. I believe that may have been in 2012, I believe. And also Mr. Owens has a pretty good stance. He's going up against Mr. Charles Anwar, okay, who's the incumbent in District 5, that is District 5, Adamsville City Council, okay? So like I said, we've got District 1, we've got District 2, District 3, District 4 is uncontested, and also District 5, okay? So if you live in one of those districts, you can go to our Be Loud movement page, okay? And you can go to the My Voters Info link that you'll find on that page, punch it in, and you can find out what district you live in Adamsville. The only thing that you would really need will be your last name, the county, which would be Jefferson County here, and your date of birth, and that information should pop up, okay? It's a lot of valuable information there that we don't want you guys to miss out on, okay? As we move along here, I'm super excited to have our next guest with us. She is definitely no stranger here in the city of Adamsville, and I'd say that 12 years into this thing, she has proven over and over again that she can win. And we want to welcome her and give her an opportunity to speak to the public. So at this time, I want to bring up, ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Adamsville, Alabama. Welcome to the show today, Ms. Pam Palmer.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Palmer. We're excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we're not going to waste any time. I know the evening has been well spent, and some people are just getting past dinner, and some people have not had the opportunity to tap in and get a bite to eat. I can't wait to tap into it myself. So if you would Ms. Palmer, we know you. I know who you are. Just kind of give us a rundown of who Pam Palmer is. Tell us about your background, and don't leave out anything about Minor High School.
Okay. Well, my name's Pam Palmer. I've been the mayor here for 12 blessed years. I'm very blessed to have been the mayor and have enjoyed every minute of it. It's the toughest job I've ever had. I am a 1981 graduate of Minor High School. My parents graduated from Minor High School. My grandparents graduated from Minor High School. My children graduated from Minor High School, and soon to be my grandchildren will graduate from Minor High School. Um, I have been here my whole life. I've never lived more than 3 miles away from where I live right now and don't intend to ever leave. So that is me in a nutshell. I am a registered nurse. I have a degree in finance business. I have a very successful business that I've been blessed to have. We own Crazy Bill's Fireworks, my husband and I. My father was Crazy Bill, and I think most people knew him in this area. My dad was a very wonderful man. I lost him a few years ago. So I had never really been in government before. I was appointed to the city council and then never really sat in a meeting because the city clerk had gotten the district wrong, and so they took me back out. I didn't run for office. I believe that one of the council people had passed away, and so they came and asked me if I would accept the seat, and so I did. Um, Same thing with running for mayor. I never asked for the job. I'd never had any thoughts about being a mayor, and the city employees, along with the previous mayor, Mayor Loggins, came and asked me if I would be interested in running. So here I am today.
That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. So, Mayor Palmer, I just want to, kind of dive into this a little bit, and go over a few things with you. And we're not going to take up too much of your time. We know that in 2008, that's when you took over the seat of mayor here in the city of Adamsville. Okay. If you would just kind of give us some insight on the state of the city, be it financially, the infrastructure, businesses, the state of the city in 2008, and what has changed, up to this point in 2020, and give us your efforts, and the efforts of your team to make those things happen here in the city.
Okay. Back in 2008, when we first took office, um, we came into office in November is when we were seated, and we're very shocked. All of a sudden there's no money and there's a $94,000 payroll to make on Friday. You couldn't find things. The city was left with tons of condemned structures. They had an abatement board that had condemned a bunch of structures, but nobody ever took them down. The city buildings themselves were in serious need of repairs. The computer systems were extremely outdated. Most of the vehicles were in really bad shape. We did have a nice ladder truck at the fire department. The parks had been left alone, for a long time. Nothing had been upgraded. So Mr. Brooklier and myself, Mr. Brooklier is our mayor pro tem. We are we're really strong in the finance department. So we started looking at what's going on, what's happening. And, I made the city a promise early on when I was running for office, the people I talked to. And I only made the one promise, and that was, I'm going to find out where your money's at. And we found it. And so today we have over 3 million in the bank. And I believe I even have that figure for you exact. I think I've left it in the other room. 3,091,000, something like that, in the bank as of today. That is today's figures. We went from no credit to a AAA credit rating. We've taken down more than 80 condemned structures. We have a whole new computer system that's modern. Over the last 12 years, we've purchased a rescue truck, a new garbage truck, a limb truck, a mow trim, police vehicles, pickups for public works, some other city vehicles. We've remodeled the library and added our outdoor patio with Wi-Fi. We just recently purchased our new CAD, which is the computer assisted dispatch system. that's used to record the 911 calls. That was a cost of $250,000. All of this is paid for. We don't finance anything. We're paying for it as we get it. We've built a new senior center, a new storm shelter. We recently obtained a grant and got all new radios for all of our departments. We obtained a grant and got a new huge washing machine and dryer that washes the turnout gear for the fire department. That's a really cool system. We got another big grant that bought an exhaust system for the fire department that connects to the exhaust on the fire truck so that that exhaust doesn't go into the housing section of the fire department. It's actually pulled out of the bay, and it's for the fireman's health. It's really an awesome system. We got all new body cameras for our police department. Now, our police department got body cameras in about 2009 or 2010, right, not long after I had become the mayor. We sunk some money into that, made sure that our officers had body cameras. As those cameras, they were getting outdated, and we would get some more and replace a few here and there. We got a whole new system probably about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. And those are really nice. They're really, really nice with a huge charging station. We've been able to give over $100,000 to our schools. Just like maybe 2 weeks ago, we spent around $5,000 at Minor Middle School, removing the old shrubbery and helping them there. At one point, we helped Minor High School with a project. They had built the walking track or the running track around the football field, and the way it was put in, it kind of created a bowl, and the football field would flood and fill with water, and they couldn't drain it off. So we put forth our efforts and money from the city into assisting with that. We've created our new Veterans Memorial. We have our new walking trail. We have a splash pad. We have disc golf. We resurfaced the tennis courts, added new playground equipment. We upgraded all the existing playground equipment. Things like the swings at Blackwell Park was all new swings on the same old frame, so it's like having new swings everywhere. We've added some new picnic tables, added a restroom over at Spring Street Park. We resurfaced the basketball court. That's pretty cool over at Blackwell Park, and added bleachers, which I guess it's needed bleachers for a long time. A lot of kids go there and play. A lot of adults go there and play basketball. They love it. We've re-roofed the baseball concession stand and all the dugouts over there recently. And the football field, we had the football field was at Spring Street Park. And that football field was real swampy because it won't drain in that area. So we moved the football field and spent about $150,000 moving the lighting, putting inside a sprinkler system. We have a nice football park now. That's a really nice football park. And just recently, we've added our new Bark Park. So the Bark Park is our dog park, and that is located across from the baseball field. And it's really, really a nice facility. We're waiting on the last little things to come in. We have a drinking fountain for the dogs. So right now you can take your dogs, but make sure you bring water. We created things, for the people to do, like the Fall Festival, which is always free. That's a big free event. And the last few years, we've moved it over toward Halloween and had a free haunted house. And that's been really huge, just huge. Year before last, we had a little over 5,000 people there because we know that because we ran out of tickets. We only had 5,000 tickets and we ran out of tickets. Have to hire a professional parking company to come in. And that's pretty awesome when you can do that and have more people than what you have residents in your city, and it's still a free event for everybody. And while we're speaking about our fall festival, let me say this. I know there's been a lot of accusations about how much has the city spent on fireworks. The city of Adamsville, to the best of my knowledge, has never purchased fireworks. Those fireworks shows are donated by me, 100% by me. I would never charge the city for those fireworks, never have, didn't charge the city before I became the mayor, and I sure wouldn't charge them while I'm the mayor. We've also created things like the annual citywide yard sale, We have dumpster days where we bring dumpsters out and people can fill them up. We have shredded days, so you can bring those documents that need to be shredded. Our library does frequent giveaways. A lot of people don't understand that, but the library gets funding based on the number of people visiting the library. So if we're going to do a giveaway, I try to encourage that to be happening at the library, bring people in. And most of them are like, wow, I didn't know the library looked like this now because it looks totally new and remodeled. Um, we have spring break week where we have an event every single day of spring break. And that's pretty cool. And it doesn't cost much. You know, you fill a swimming pool full of sand and water and throw some plastic rocks in there and the kids are digging for treasure. They love that. And then recently during the COVID, you know, we've started doing the meals for the kids, children 18 and under. We did that until that played out. But I was down there every day passing out meals to the kids, the parents who came up to get the meals. We do the Meals on Wheels now for our seniors. You know, it's grown. It's a whole lot different. And I heard Mr. James a minute ago. Our city has way more than 15 employees. We have about 85 employees at the city of Adamsville. So that's the difference from then to now.
Understood. Awesome. Awesome. And there were. I'm excited about the dog park. I'm just going to be honest with you. The bark
I am
park. And I know there was a few questions. You know, people were wondering they're going to have rules and regulations. I'm sure we'll get around to those rules and regulations. I want to touch a little bit on a topic that would be I guess a national, worldwide topic. And it's something that I did get an opportunity to ask Mr. James regarding the face coverings here in Alabama. Now I know that you've taken a different approach to it, and I actually got a chance to see it firsthand. Things that you were giving away. So I want you to kind of just touch on that. The mandate. Do you think is necessary, and tell us what your efforts have been. I got a chance to see it. I just want you to touch on it just a little bit.
okay. Great. Yeah, during this pandemic, COVID-19, right now, let me tell you, we have here in Adamsville 13 persons in quarantine as of this morning, and 7 of those people are actively infected. Um, that's larger than what we had 2 days ago, but a lot less than what we had a week ago. So, you know, it changes daily. Face masks are huge. And I want to tell you a little story about how we started making face masks. I started making them, and during the time I started making them, I was blessed to have learned to sew at a very, very early age. My grandmother owned a drapery shop, so I knew how to sew. I said, okay, I can do this. We just started doing it. My ladies at City Hall, we've had to close City Hall to the public. You know, the courts are closed, the library's closed. The senior center can't let anybody come in. So all these ladies, do you lay them off? Nah. They were there and they said, we want to sew. We want to make the face mask. So they started helping me. And next thing you know, I'm off buying sewing machines, and the ladies that knew how to sew were bringing sewing machines from their houses. And we were trying to find fabric. People donated everything. This city came together, and it was quite amazing. I had a little bit of fabric to start with. We had Father Vernon up at St. Patrick's donated a lot of his clothing. The priest's black clothing, the clerics were brought up because the police officers who were having to wear them and the firemen had to either have black or blue at a lot of cities and stuff. So we used that clothing, and I could get 5 face masks out of one male adult shirt. So, you know, that's how we started, and we just continued to make them. And then as City Hall was able to open back up, the ladies got out of that. My daughter and I continued. My daughters, actually, I had all 3 of my daughters helped me on and off, but my daughter Christina and I have made a ton of them. We are currently at over 3,700, and before this week's out, we'll have 3,800, probably 3,900 masks before this week's out. that we're
That is
making and
incredible.
donating. Now we give them away. We don't sell them, and we make them from size 2T up to adult. And I've made several very extra large masks for people who had big faces.
I'd say that's incredible. I got a chance to see it myself. She does give away masks, so if you get a chance to stop by and see Miss Pam Palmer at her headquarters, she'll get you a mask. So I want to touch on a topic. It's been a controversial topic, I would say, but I also know that there are a lot of citizens who really don't know all of the details and don't know what's going on. Okay, back in 2018, I got my first glimpse of it, and it was an article that I read, and it referred to this entire situation as what they want to call the poop train. Okay, now I know that there's been a lot of criticism on the current administration here in the city of Adamsville involving this situation. Okay, and from my understanding, this is a train that was carrying biosolids, bringing biosolids from New York and New Jersey into the area, and the actual article said that the train set in Parrish, Alabama, which is a neighboring town of Adamsville, and it was headed to a landfill that does sit here in the city of Adamsville. I want to know, just based off of the information that I've given, because we've been told that there are a few procedures that weren't being followed and everything. We want to know in detail, how much involvement does the local city government have when it comes to this operation, and can they regulate it, or is it something that can be stopped by the city of Adamsville?
Um, okay, so uh, let me tell you a little bit about what I know about it. Number one, this is called biosolids, and it's regulated by the federal government, the EPA to be exact. It's not even truly regulated by ADM. ADM is who it is reported to, but it's regulated by the EPA. The EPA says that it's not hazardous. Um, there's it's not considered a hazardous material. With that being said, you can't regulate where it's going. You can't stop it from coming. You can't. Uh, you just can't. It's federally approved. Okay, so we did make a good effort though, and we created an ordinance because when all this occurred, um, we're left with like everybody else. What is going on? Wait a minute. Jefferson County's been dumping this stuff here in Adamsville for 20 years. So I don't know if why one can do it and one can't. Who's telling me they can't, and how do I work this? So we talked with people at the EPA. I called the EPA. I've talked with people at ADM, and they told me we were correct. We could not regulate it in such a manner that we said it's got to cease and desist. We can't. It's considered to be almost as natural as dirt. So what we did instead, we created an ordinance, and it was back in 2017, and it's ordinance 2017-015, and I have a copy of that with me. This ordinance gave us the ability to create a business license so that we would know where this stuff was going. And I'm going to read it to you real quick. It's a real short ordinance. It says, whereas it is the desire of the City Council of the City of Adamsville, Alabama, to provide for the protection of public health, and whereas in an effort to provide for the protection of public health, the city does require formal notification of any and all biosolid land applications located within the city limits of Adamsville. And whereas there is currently no known state or county permit and/or licensing required for biosolid land applications, the city of Adamsville, in an effort to provide for environmental control, does also requiring licensing of biosolid land applications. So we required that they have a license. Now, I guess, that probably could have been fought in court. I don't think so, as unless it was a farmer putting it on his own property. So we created a business license. That way we would know where it was coming in. And if we had complaints, we would know to look in that area, that general area. But we never had a single complaint from a city of Adamsville resident. Not one was ever recorded at City Hall.
Understood. And it is also just based off our research, we understand that this is a common practice at landfills. I mean, it comes from these water treatment plants, and it goes to a landfill where it's taken care of from there. And also, we did a little bit of extra research also, and we didn't find anything as far as testing on the actual property, any official testing to prove that it was hazardous. But what I want to ask you, that the city of Adamsville has what we call a landfill board. I guess, am I saying that right? A landfill board. I kind of want to know, the purpose of that. Does it have anything to do with the local landfill that we have here in the city? And is there any involvement from the landfill board when it comes to this operation?
Okay. So there is a solid waste authority board, and that solid waste authority board was formed before I became the mayor, as well as all the documents for the landfill. That all happened before my time. I believe the last of those documents was signed on September 8th or 9th of 2008, before I took office in November. So by law, it's required for a landfill, in order for them to operate, they have to have a landfill authority board or a solid waste authority board. And this board's primary function, though, is to facilitate long-term contracts that are required for the operation of a landfill, such as bonds. A bond is somewhat, a lot of people don't know what that is. A bond is like a loan, but it's got really good rates, really, really good rates. Bonds can be obtained by cities, counties, states, or boards. And so the city can't manage the landfill. The city is not the landfill. The landfill is its own separate company. It's a totally separate company, just like Walmart is. The landfill board was created because the government says there has to be one there in order for the landfill to obtain bonds and long-term contracts. A city by law can't enter into a contract for longer than 6 years, I believe. So that's the purpose of the board. The board can't run the daily operations of the landfill. We can't tell them what to do, what not to do. That's not legal any more than I can tell Walmart, hey, you can't sell Red Diamond tea. We can't do that. So it's that easy. It's pretty simple to understand, but a lot of people think that the city owns the landfill. We do not. We do not own that.
Okay, thank you for that clarification there. We've got a few more minutes with you, Mayor Palmer there. And at this moment, I kind of want to give you an opportunity to appeal to the public. I know there are some that say that, it's time for a change here in Adamsville. You've done so many different things over the course of the last 12 years. And I just want to give you an opportunity to speak to your voters, speak to those who may not vote for you, and those who may not support the stance that you have right now, and the naysayers that say that 12 years is too long. What are we to expect with another 4 years with Mayor Pam Palmer leading this city of Adamsville?
Well, we have a lot of plans for the future. Just in the near future, we have things like Popeyes coming really soon. They're coming this fall. Supposed to start building at the West County Marketplace. Jefferson County has committed to paving their roadways that are located here in Adamsville, which are a lot of them. I believe they're starting with Minor Parkway. We have a new fire truck that's ordered at $600,000, a little more than that. We have a new business coming into Main Street Plaza. We have another new business interested in taking Campbell's Pharmacy. We've just recently started putting down speed bumps, and we have some more roads being, they're currently out to bid for being paved. We have a lot going on, and we keep a lot going on for everybody around here. But it's all of our responsibility to keep Adamsville clean and safe. We got to work together to make us better. You know, it's not just me, it's not just the city council, it's all of us working together. And I want to encourage everybody to go out and vote, period. Just go out and vote. Let your voice be heard. This is our God given right as a United States citizen. Go vote. One of the really important jobs of being the mayor is being able to bring balance between the needs of the city employees, the residents of the city, and the visitors to the city. You know, you've got to be able to manage balancing the needs of everybody there. That's a very difficult job, and sometimes it's not even you can't it won't happen. You can't make everybody happy. I'm not a transplant here in Adamsville. I don't pretend to live in Adamsville. I have 57 years and 4 generations invested here in Adamsville. This is my home, and like my shirts say, I love Adamsville. This is my home. I love it, and I love the people here. I love our schools. I love working with them. I'm not here to use Adamsville as a stepping stone to move up in my life or to move up in some political party. I don't need that. I'm very blessed. To be the mayor, you got to have some financial background. You got to be able to read the financial audits that come out every year. And by the way, you know, the notices are that going out, the rumors that we don't have a financial audit. The most current one's sitting on my desk. It was delivered in May. It's at my campaign headquarters. Come look at it. You got to be able to read that audit, though. See, that's the big deal. You got to know what you're looking at. You got to have some business knowledge and some financial knowledge, or it's going to revert to what it was before. At the same time, the most important thing is you got to be able to love the people. You got to be able to be fair. And when somebody is in your jail today and they're home tomorrow and they call you because their ditch is stopped up, you got to be able to be fair enough to go help that person as much as you would anybody else. So I'd love for everybody to come and meet me if you don't know me already. If you have an issue with the city, come and talk to me about it. I may not know anything about it. Maybe I can help you there. Maybe I can't. Some things we can and we can't do, you know. I found a lot of things that I can't do as the mayor. There are a lot of things that by law you just can't do it. Not as the mayor, not with city funds. But I've been blessed, and we'll find a way to do it a lot of times using either the West Jefferson Civitan Club, going through the Lions Club, or just me going out and helping, bringing my employees and saying, hey, come on, guys, from here at my fireworks warehouse. We'll go take care of it. Everybody's got to step up and do their part, though, and work together. I look forward to meeting all of you, and I look forward to being mayor for the next 4 years. God bless you all, and I sure hope I get your vote.
Incredible. We thank you for attending our session today, Ms. Pam Palmer, and we wish you all the best in the upcoming election on August 25th.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you and what you're doing to help this city.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Awesome. Incredible. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we've had our opportunity to speak with Chris James, 2020 mayoral candidate. Also had an opportunity to hear from Ms. Pam Palmer. I just want to go ahead and tell you guys, man, I want to thank you for your support, for supporting the Be Loud movement. This is something that we just, came up with all of a sudden, and it just took off in a matter of weeks. Okay, we've been able to up to this point to get about just over 300 supporters, and I will tell you, if you are interested in joining the movement and actually getting on the ground doing the footwork, we've got elections coming up on November 3rd, and there are a lot of other things that we want to do with this movement to keep people involved. We want to get our graduating seniors involved. Okay, they need to know how to vote. They need to know who to vote for. Okay, they have a voice here in this city, in this state, and also in this country. So it's very important that we do that. So I encourage you to go to our page. Make sure you like our page. Okay, you can share our page. Encourage your friends to go there. If you have questions about registering to vote, if you have questions about filling out the census, if you don't know where you need to go and vote, You can find all of that information within the links on our page. Okay. Just a few thanks I want to give out. Want to give special thanks out to my good friend, longtime friend and colleague, Miss Shanika Sanders. She's been kind of directing this thing behind the scenes. You guys didn't get a chance to see her, but she's there and she's watching. Also want to thank Chris James, 2020 mayoral candidate Chris James, for taking time out of his schedule and coming to speak with us. Want to thank Adamsville Mayor Pam Palmer for taking time to speak with us. I want to send special thanks out to 66 Media, Ms. Shayla, for helping us out with this stream here. Also, my good friend Andre Rudolph, he was very instrumental in helping us. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Okay, everyone who tuned in. So here's what I will tell you, and I want to leave you guys with this. Okay, it is very important that you just get involved. Get your children involved. We are living in times right now where we can't predict the course, and we're in uncharted territory. Okay, a lot of days we're playing this by ear. I want to encourage everyone to stay safe. If you wear a mask, stay safe. If you wear a face shield, whatever it is, wash your hands. Okay, social distance. All of that is very important. One life lost is one life too many. Okay. And also, like I said before, our page will still be there. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us or you can hit us up on Messenger. Be Loud Movement, okay? It's very important. I want to thank my good friends also down at the Plum Bar. Thank you, Charles, all the staff down at the Plum Bar for helping us out with this and putting this on, okay? That's very important to us. You guys make sure you go downtown and check out the Plum Bar. Tonight, I want to say a special happy birthday to my good friend and my barber, John Lee. Hey, John Lee, I need a haircut, man. Where are you? John Lee, it's happy birthday to John Lee. He's having an all-white party tonight. Put your mask on. Go down there and check out my guy, John Lee. And once again, I just want to thank you all. This has been a wonderful evening. We were able to pull this off, and everyone who supported and everyone who chipped in, want to thank you. And in closing, as I always say, I would tell you, don't just be heard, be loud. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Have a great evening.